Hi, Suparna. Welcome
Hi.
to the podcast. I'm really so excited to have you here today.
Likewise, I'm equally excited and happy to talk to you.
So, Suparna, we know you as a seasoned and distinguished CFO of listed companies. Tell us something which no one else knows.
Well, I am ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous. Okay.
And what does that mean? I can write simultaneously with two hands.
So, tell us something about your family. Where do you hail from? About your upbringing.
So, I'm basically a Bengali,
Mm-hmm.
born in Calcutta but lived across India, changed 7 schools, changed boards while I was changing schools. In fact, life has been challenging right from the very beginning, the childhood of mine. And from my family side, my dad retired from the private sector. I have a sister who's a journalist. My husband is a consultant, and my daughter is an advocate. So this is the family which I have, and very proud to be a part of this family. And we are a very, very close knit family, and all the support that I've got from my family over the years has made me what I am today.
Oh, nice. So, you got a daughter who's an advocate now.
Yeah.
So, Suparna, how challenging it had been, or how were you able to manage the work-life balance over the years? You spent 3 decades in your career, and all 3 decades would have had given you a different experience. How challenging it had been all those years?
Well, I'll split my almost, it's 2.5 decades to be more precise.
Mm-hmm.
I'll split it between the first 10 years, the next 10 years, and the last 5 years.
Hmm.
And when I speak of the first 10 years, that's the time where you are evolving as a career. The demands are quite high. There wasn't a lot of automation at that point of time. A lot of work was manual. So the demand in terms of time and effort was very different at that point of time. And I will say that in that period, basically, that's the time when I was like after my 25 and I got married, I had a kid, I had to be with my daughter
Mm-hmm.
because she was very young. So there are certain, decisions that you need to take in life. Like when I had my daughter and I had to give time to her in the initial period, I didn't look for a job change.
Hmm.
So I prefer to be stable in terms of career. And sometimes in life, you have to take those decisions where what is a priority in life. The prioritization over the last 25 years has played a very important key role in shaping my career.
Mm-hmm.
When to give importance to what demands more of attention, that judgment is something which is really required to be done from your side. So if I talk of the first 10 years, which was, more of a lot of work, desk work, office work, sitting in the office, not too much of, brainy work in terms of the decision making, etc. But that was a time when we really had to dirty our hands.
Hmm.
So that was another challenge. Then, the next 10 years was the time when, parents, they start getting, older. They have certain needs. And then my daughter, she entered into teenage. Then her needs were different. And at the same time, during my career, unfortunately, my husband was in a transferable job during those years, and he was not staying in the same city as I was. So, bringing up my daughter almost single handedly, because I had the support of my parents, which of course they were aging. So, and the mid career time is the time where, it's the time for you to evolve into your next role. It is the time for you to take that plunge, that challenge to become, a CFO or a senior management professional. Very demanding needs of your teenage children, very demanding needs of aging parents. So that was again a very, very difficult balancing act at that point of time. But yes, I think I made it. That's why I am where I am today. And talking of the last 5 6 years of my career, and that is the time where I've been a CFO for the last 5 years, 5 6 years now. So that's the time where you're sitting in boardrooms. You have to do very, very critical decision making. You have to learn to split your time between micro and macro, because in my case, since I have evolved from the very grassroots, so for me, letting go the micro, embracing the macro, managing my time, that gave me a lot of experience in terms of having a successful career and also taking care of my family. So different phases, but always a juggling act, a balancing act, and it's all about the importance, the
Balancing.
prioritization,
Yeah.
and the balancing, and of course, the support of the family is extremely important. Plus, having a good manager is also very important, because ultimately, if you have certain needs, it's your manager also who needs to support you. And
Right.
I've been lucky to have a good manager.
Right. In fact, there was one interview which I heard of Indra Nui, and she mentioned that, when you are at the peak of your career, everybody needs you. Your
Correct.
kids need you, your aging, parents need you, your spouse needs you the most at that time, right? So you are, juggling amongst all of those, because, your work is taking a lot of time, and that is the time actually you pointed it rightly that, you need a support system, right?
Absolutely.
Your support system, be it in your work or at home, if that is not there, it becomes very, very, challenging for a woman to go through that phase of life when you are at the peak in your career, everybody needs you, and the job is also demanding. So yeah, support system becomes very important.
Yes.
So when we were discussing, you mentioned that you are a cost accountant.
Hmm.
Yeah. And this is very different amongst the CFO practice. CFO domain has historically been dominated by CAs. So how challenging was it for you, being a cost accountant, navigating the role of a CFO over the years?
So I will say that the education content of both the courses are maybe about 70% same, but it's a difference of about 30% in the course content. And of course, during my time, CA had an articleship requirement which ICWA did not have. So for me, the most important thing was, fixing the gap. So what the industry thinks and what they want, and what is the gap between the two degrees. For me, it was important that I fix the gap between the two. And I began with my own trainings, because I did not do articleship. I started doing my internship very early while I was pursuing my ICWA degree. So one was that important gap which I fixed. Next is that you need to have a goal in life. And my goal in life was to become CFO, or earlier 25, 30 years back, when I was in school, there was no CFO designation as such. But what the ultimate designation in finance was a finance director. So I'll tell you a very interesting story about my goal setting in life.
Okay.
It was in class 11 when I was walking in the corridor, and the chemistry teacher from my class 10, she said that I didn't see you in class, in the chemistry class in 11. So I told ma'am that, ma'am, I've taken commerce. She said, oh, you had such good marks in science. I said, no, ma'am, I've already set a goal for myself. She said, what is it? I said, I want to become the finance director. She said, oh, but you could have taken science because you had so good marks in
Yeah.
10th. I said, no, ma'am, I've set my goal already in life, and I want to follow my goal, my passion, my dream, and I'll pursue the field of commerce. So that's what, once my goal was set, and maybe if I had a degree which kind of often got filtered in the filtration process for CFOs, I had everything else to become a CFO. So that's how I worked, by bridging the gap, setting my goal, working towards the goal, and having all tick boxes in my journey to become the CFO. Like I learnt about business finance, FP&A, or accounting, tax, audit, etc., treasury. So these are the things which, slowly and slowly in my career I got the boxes ticked, and that's how I prepared myself to become a CFO despite not having the degree in fashion.
So, Suparna, you have worked with Horeba for 11 years. It's a Japanese company. And Japanese culture is all built on trust and transparency. So, tell us about your experience there. How did you manage it? How did you build up that trust and transparency being in the Japanese organization?
Shweta, you rightly said that Japanese culture and the way Japanese organizations work across the world is based, of course, there are systems, processes, but sitting on top of all that is the trust and transparency culture.
Hmm.
So, my journey in Horeba for 11 years was very interesting, and I evolved a lot from a manager to a leader in those 11 years in my career. And also the fact that because Horeba was a new organization in India at that point of time, and operating in India, competing in India, being a late entrant was a huge challenge. So I'll talk of the systems and processes, and where we had to have that trust and transparency culture, and that's how the organization grew. So India is a very agile market, and we need to be very quick in our decision making. And sometimes getting a lot of delegation from the corporate is a little tough in the beginning, but having Horiba was a very new company when I joined the organization in 2011. We had to compete in the agile growing market of India, and it was important to get a lot of delegation for quick decision making. What we used to do is have a very transparent communication with our corporate headquarters in Kyoto, and the right kind of communication, the with our analysis, with our judgment on the kind of decision making that we need to do in India, the kind of market which was shaping up. So that kind of a continuous communication, transparent communication, that helped us get a lot of delegation, the activities in India for the organization, so that we could compete with the existing players already there in the market, and also build up a lot of market share in the last few years that I was there. So, somewhere that kind of a transparent communication really, helps us get that delegation to operate in Indian market, and also the fact that we always had a system. We used to say that bad news first. So in case there's anything which is not happening the right way, or we sense there is a risk in that, we first used to communicate that to our headquarters, and that's how. Then that was the mantra of getting that kind of a successful delegation and operating in India.
Right. And in Horiba, there were a lot of functions who were rolling up to you. You mentioned, right? You mentioned IT, corporate communications, and it actually opened
Supply
up
chain
your
too.
wings, supply chain too. So it opened up your wings. It made you fly higher, and but still there will be little more challenges because there were a lot of functions, though it gives a lot of flexibility, but it also needs a lot of decision making, because so many functions, different type of functions requiring different type of expertise and all. How did you manage that?
Okay, so one thing which worked in my favor was the long tenure in the organization. So once you're there in an organization for a long term, you obviously get a hang of what is happening at the operational level in the organization. And whenever there had been challenges, say with respect to IT or supply chain or corporate communication, my knowledge about the organization, my knowledge about the systems processes, my knowledge about the external environment with respect to the market, to the competition, etc. So that helped me to rise up to the occasion whenever there was a challenge. If there was a supply chain challenge, if there was an IT related challenge, I always rose up to the occasion before I was formally given those roles. So, being visible, being having a positive contribution in the company, and rising up to a challenge which the organization is facing, these are the three things which really helped me get a CFO plus role in the organization.
Wow.
So my advice, would always be that rise up to the occasion whenever the organization needs it.
Right. Don't wait for somebody to come to you to do
Correct.
something, but show visibility and show
Absolutely.
yourself that you are available to do a job.
Absolutely.
That's how you will build up yourself as well.
Yes.
Oh, nice. So, Suparna, so many years as a CFO in the finance function, How do you see the role of women in finance evolving over the years? You see any changes that have happened since the time you started off with your career and today when you see a lot of other girls, women joining the finance field? Do you see any difference in last so many years?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, right from the entry level,
Hmm.
where if I tell you, in my class of almost 50 students when I was in class 12,
Hmm.
and having about almost 20-25 girls in the class, uh, there have been only 2 or 3 of us who are in the corporate domain today.
Hmm.
So most of them chose to be either homemakers or they had gone into the educational career.
Hmm.
But today I see a lot of women coming into the corporate. So there is a huge improvement in the number of women coming into corporate at the entry level.
Ah, okay.
And because now the population of women at the entry level is become much more, so
Hmm.
obviously the rise of women into mid management and senior management roles is also getting better.
Okay.
Also, there are many organizations who are driving the diversity agenda within their organizations.
Hmm.
That is helping. Women friendly policies within organizations, uh, welcoming women back after their sabbatical or after their maternity leaves. Such kind of gestures by organizations are really helping women to come back to career or
Hmm.
continue their career. So
Hmm.
that way, today there are many women who have made it to the top, and I'm happy to see all of them. And personally, I like to mentor young women, young students of colleges, etc., to come into the corporate field and rise and go into the CXO positions.
This is so interesting. Even if you look at the CA qualifying percentage, there are large number of girls who are turning out to be a CAs much more, or maybe equal to the number of men. But when we see the latest study on the CFO of the large listed BSE companies, only 5% of the CFO positions are being held by women. So it's quite a contradictory position or a situation to be in, that you have large pool of resources when at the entry level, but when they go to the top, it's only not more than 5%.
So we have, while I have been lucky to be there in that 5%
Yeah.
bracket, I would definitely welcome other women professionals to come into CXO levels, into
Hmm.
boardroom level contributors, and especially CFOs.
Hmm.
So I would personally like to encourage young women to come into the finance profession, set a goal in your life, evolve yourself to be a CFO. And there are many organizations today who are welcoming women CFOs, and we need to take advantage of that opportunity. However, there would be no compromise on the merit, on the requirements of the job, the subject matter expertise, and the wisdom to lead the finance function. So that's
Hmm.
also equally important.
Right, right. But why does this happen? And of course, you are an inspiration, Suparna, because you have experienced that, done that, felt that, and achieved that. Yeah, so you're an inspiration to a lot of people. But why do you think this is a gap coming up? When there's so many diversity and inclusive policies being rolled out by the corporates, there's a lot of focus by ICI, in increasing the percentage of women in the finance field. So there are a lot of people, a lot of organizations who are contributing or who want to see women coming forward, and yet that percentage is low. So I fail to understand why is this happening.
That we are in that 15 years, 20 years kind of timeline right now. There are many women who are making it to the middle and the senior management, and in the times to come we'll definitely see more of women CFOs in the
Hmm.
boardrooms, because they are right now gathering that experience. They are becoming resilient, they are becoming their subject matter experts, they're gaining their wisdom in the profession.
Hmm.
So it is just now a matter of time. There is a whole big pool of women professionals waiting to make it to the top. It's just a matter of time. In the next couple of years, we will see boardrooms flooded with women CFOs, and I'll be so happy about it. I would definitely like to talk about having a mentor in life. And when I say mentor, that person, should read you as a professional, as should read you about your own characteristics. It is important to always play on the strengths while you work on your weaknesses, try to subdue them, but do what is positive in you, work on your strengths, and uh, reach out for help. I mean, we often hold ourselves back where to talk, want to talk, and we could feel embarrassed. Oh, if I ask this, is it right, wrong? Somebody might make a judgment about me. Don't think of all that. When in doubt, ask.
Ask.
So that is one mantra also for everyone. There's nothing good, nothing bad about asking, but it helps you select the right path and do your best.
Understand. So, Suparna, being a CFO, you mentioned that you had a good manager which helped you. So, tell us, and you don't need to do an MBA to be able to manage people. So, tell us what management skills you had which went in your favor.
Most importantly, empathy.
Okay.
Connect with your people. So, irrespective whether that person is n minus one, even if you have a n minus four in your team, please make an effort to connect to that n minus four. So, every person in the organization will feel wanted, will feel happy to work in the organization, and of course, you can support that person by knowing that person and also helping that person to evolve in the organization, because an organization structure is all about having the right people at the right places. Also, as a team leader, it is not right, like we have 5 different kinds of fingers in our hand, and at the same time we need all of them to do something.
Right.
So you need to have a very diverse population in your team, because there are different kinds of functions within an organization, within a team, that you would need a person to do. I'll give you a very small example. Suppose there's a person who is basically an accountant, and presumably accounting or auditing, they are known as little boring functions within the team. But quite possible that the person could be quite enterprising in doing team building activities. So why don't you assign that to him in your team, so that he does that for you? So it's important that you see the positives in a person, see the unique traits in a person, and work on them. So ultimately, it's the right people at the right places, and the CFOs connect with everyone in the team. Whatever it takes to do, please do that, and please establish connect. So when I'm traveling, definitely have your breakfast, definitely have your dinner. Do it with somebody in the team. And also that it's not necessary that you do it always only with your team. You could do it with a service engineer who's toiling in the sun, uh, you know, the sun, the rain. Call him for a breakfast wherever you're traveling, and see the kind of engagement the person would develop for the organization. So
Right.
it's all about connecting with people, empathizing with them, and building that trust that the person knows that his or her manager will not do anything wrong to him or her. That kind of a faith and trust is extremely important, and that's where that needs to be built.
Yeah, so you need to build up that trust being a leader,
Yeah.
right? And being at a position which has a lot of power in your hands, right? So it's your responsibility to build up the trust, and therefore, if you become reachable, only then will people come to you and share their problems, right? Otherwise, it's easy to leave the organization.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Suparna, let's come to the business, right? Businesses are continuously evolving, right? And they see a lot of challenges also every day. Now, these challenges can be met by, a lot of finance innovations, right? And taking a proactive financial strategy. You think that CFOs today have that ability and the freedom to adopt to the proactive financial strategies to mitigate any financial risk?
So, a very important role of the CFO is the risk mitigation. and to know the kind of risk mitigation activities that you do in the organization. It's very important for you to understand business.
Hmm.
And when I say understand business, it's just not, looking at PPTs on your laptop.
Hmm.
Go out and meet the customer. So
Hmm.
once you meet the customer, you come to know many things. One is what is the customer demand, what is happening in the market, what your competition is doing. So
Hmm.
that gives a lot of inputs for you to mitigate the business risks of an organization.
Right. Go to the ground and
Go to
see.
the ground,
Hmm.
go and see what's happening in the market. So I would urge all team members in my finance team to go out, meet the customer, work closely with sales, because in the years to come, the most important thing that finance can do for organizations is contributing for growing business and uh, working for the risk mitigation of the business.
Hmm.
Lot of things, audit, tax, treasury, lot of such functions will get largely automated. So
Hmm.
what remains is growing business and doing those things which AI or generative AI may
Hmm.
fail to detect, but
Right.
the sense of business, the sense of a CFO will help in that kind of a mitigation.
Right, you good. You brought this point of AI. Were you using AI, or you think that AI would be a tool for you as a person, like being at a CFO role or at a finance leader role? You think that AI is a good tool for you to adopt and use it for your work as well?
Absolutely. AI is already in place. A lot of us as CFOs are already using such products and solutions available in the market.
Hmm.
Uh, AI will be a great enabler to
Hmm.
run the day to day functions of any organization. And it is very important that we as CFOs, we do the right investment in the right kind of AI tools, etc., which are available in the market. Or, of course, we can always customize that as per our requirement. But
Right.
it is very important to have AI in the organization as per the needs.
Right.
And when I say it's not only AI in our regular work, like I would probably, have technology for my tax. It's just not about that. I also would think or urge, say, our R&D, our product development teams
Hmm.
to have AI into our products,
Hmm.
which will help in the AI journey of our, customers. So
Hmm.
it's just not internal, it's also about investing
Hmm.
for having AI enabled products for our customers.
Right. So you've seen that digital transformation, from the start wherein everything was to be put into the system, I'll say computerized, to a stage wherein you are using AI as a tool, right? So it's a complete cycle, I'll say, of a digital transformation, which you would have seen, in fact, over the years. Right. You are a champion of digital transformation, Suparna. Tell us something about how you manage that.
See, I began my career with a calculator.
Ah.
I didn't even have a PC to work. I got that after working
Mm.
for couple of years. So I'm coming from that age,
Hmm.
and I've seen this whole digitization happening in across industries across the globe in these 25 years that I've worked. And being in finance, I've been a part of the such kind of transformations uh, in my organizations at the you know very junior level to the middle management to the to a key decision maker where I've taken decisions for implementing different kinds of softwares within the organization.
Hmm.
And today, most of organizations, I will say, while we are thinking of a lot of technology, automation, digitization in whatever we are doing, a lot of us are also struggling with different kinds of softwares in an organization where the two are not talking to each other.
Ah, yeah.
So that was one phase where marketing said, "Oh, I'll have my tool." Sales said, I'll have my tool." Product management said, "I'll have my tool." Finance said, "I'll have my ERP." But what happened ultimately? They were all not talking to each other.
Yeah.
So today the bigger challenge is the to unify all such different systems and processes within the organizations, and having the right kind of solution to to do some, not only of course record everything, also do a lot of predictive analysis, having AI and also generative AI in our workplaces. So that's very important for us to have the right structures in place, the right softwares in place, and those softwares which could be of future use for many years to come.
It's all about finance, right? It's all about costs and it's all about expenses. So, in your experience, have you ever encountered a situation wherein you knew that it's gonna be a heavy cost to the company, but yet it was the right thing to do? How difficult was that decision to be taken, and what was the outcome of it?
Okay, so resources are always scarce.
Hmm.
There's a crunch of resources. You have some funds, anyways, which have a cost, which have different objectives of the funds of the organization and the sources of the fund. So this is actually a day-to-day challenge as to where you will utilize your funds.
Right.
So it is very critical for the CFO to be a part of that decision and make all the calculations, the risks, the calculated risks, the backup plans, etc., while we are making such decisions of deployment of capital. And with that comes a lot of experience, a lot of foresight, and a lot of your expertise with respect to the market, the subject matter, and the goals and objectives of the organization. So it has to be a mix and match of many critical factors, and that's how we help in making the data and analysis, and also help to take such critical decisions for the organization.
Yeah, one such example could be ESG, right? ESG. So tell us about ESG. You are a champion of sustainability as well. So when we talk about ESG, the one thing which comes to mind is the accountability, right, and transparency. So you think that the organizations have become mature enough to get to a stage wherein the ESG recording is accountable as well as there is a complete transparency?
So ESG is of prime importance in any organization, whether listed or non-listed. See, we are all evolving in terms of ESG. It's a new area. We are all learning as we are performing, and very important that we have the right data in place. A lot of challenges, especially with respect to non-financial data, because BRSR reporting is just not about financial data, it's also about the non-financial activities of the company. It is very important that we all have that mindset of ESG, and we all start building our data and building our activities in that sphere. And also, when I say that, we need to have products and solutions as an organization which will help in the ESG journey of our customers. So that's somewhere, as a CFO, I would always think that it is critical to invest in terms of ESG, not only for the internal requirements of the organization, but also for the customers.
It's an interesting point, Suparna. Like you're saying that ESG should have a backward integration as well as forward integration to be
Absolutely.
much more successful.
For a successful ESG agenda in the organization, a very important thing is to set the tone at the top. What happens in the boardrooms have then to be cascaded down to the teams. Only then will the ESG agenda of an organization be successful, and we will move into a hugely compliant organization.
Right. Set the tone at the top.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, so from now here, Suparna, would you feel anything you would like to do something different than what you've been doing, and what would that be?
So I'm already thinking on the lines of partnering with NGOs for upliftment of the society. Apart from that, I really, really want to mentor young women professionals to come and shine in the corporate world. And thirdly, I would like to do something for the aged population of India in terms of their medical needs, which is a really big challenge today for senior citizens in the country.
Wonderful. So, Suparna, it's a very common perception that finance is a very boring job. So, how do you bring the fun factor in this boring job of yours?
All right. Well, it's always the responsibility of the team leader to keep the team engaged and keep job interesting. So one is, of course, have your party quotient very high in the organization, and every reason can be, turned into a small party or a big party, depending on the reason. It's about making them feel important and also adding a little spice into their lives. You know, sit with the team. You can do a bit of gossip. You can do a bit of chit chat. So all that adds fun. That adds some spice, some laughter, some have some joke sessions time to time. Share some good fun laughter, and also try to be a part of them so that they feel very engaged.
Right, right. So, be part of the team.
So
So,
often,
actually, eases off, right? The
yeah, it
pressure.
eases off. It's not always about work. Sometimes you can just meet for without a reason.
Yeah,
It's not necessary that you always have to have an agenda for a meeting.
correct.
You can always meet just like that.
Correct, because it becomes very stressful also
Yes.
sometimes because of the
Yes.
decisions you have to take, the business meetings you are doing. It becomes very stressful job as well, like the boring part. So yes, these things I'm sure would make a difference if you be part of the team, have
Absolutely.
those fun moments in between, right? It feels more like a family then. You have the goal in front of you, but that goal doesn't need to be an onerous job, right? It can be a little cool job also, and you can venture on that path in a very happy way as well. So, Suparna, it's becoming very important to network these days, and I see you a lot networking, right? So, tell us something. How does it come to you? Is it come naturally to you to network, or it takes an effort for you? How do you do it? Like, tell us something about your networking skills.
Network is net worth today for an individual, I will say. Very important for professionals to network in order to expand their circle, evolve, and grow. It definitely takes an effort to carve out your time from your very busy day.
Yeah.
And you can definitely carve out that time, prioritize your life, prioritize your official work, your family, and also uh, do that bit of networking which will help you in your professional career. So of course skills of networking are extremely important, which you can always learn from what is happening in the industry, how people network. Go to networking forums, go to the CFO events. After you're coming from an event or after you have met somebody, make an effort to stay in touch. That's extremely important.
Right.
So that's the mantra of networking, and believe me, it pays off very, very hugely.
I like that statement, Suparna, that your network is the net worth. True
Absolutely.
net worth. So, Suparna, what your advice would be for the working women?
Very important that please don't overstress yourself. Uh, Spend a little for keeping good help or support at home, because when I say spend, it is not spend, it's an investment. Don't have to bother much about certain things. Prioritize things in life.
So, Suparna, how are you able to, or how do you take difficult decisions in an organization?
Taking critical decisions is a part of CFO's life. And the way I take decisions is that every decision or every issue or every situation has to be backed up by a lot of calculation and analysis work, a 360-degree view to that particular issue, and having a backup plan. And when nothing really works, It is my gut feeling.
Amazing, amazing. So your gut feeling drives you.
Very often, because the drive actually comes from the gut, and sometimes when there isn't everything scientific around it, it's the gut, it's the wisdom, it's the experience which drives the decision making.
Right.
Yeah.
Before we close, tell us the success mantra which for you worked and which you would advise the girls who are coming into the finance field should adopt to be successful in life.
One is subject matter expertise.
Hmm.
There is no compromise on that. Learn your subject extremely well. Go deep into it in the initial years, because unless you dirty your hands, you just can't, uh, get that confidence from your managers. One.
Hmm.
Second is that be visible in the organization. Reach out, talk to your manager for what kind of roles you would like to take, and grab any opportunity which comes. Third, there are ups and downs in life. Don't get bogged down when you're low, because after every low, there is a high.
Hmm.
And be resilient and stay strong.
Thank you, Suparna, for coming over and having this conversation. You are an inspiration to many, especially to me. So, and I hope with all the advice you have given to the working women as well as to the young girls, we will see so many young girls coming over and taking up the CFO role in future. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Shweta. I really want many women to take up CFO roles and drive organizations. We really need to have women in the boardrooms and take the company in the growth path. Thank you
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you.